Michelangelo, often the group's comedic relief, has a unique quality that sets him apart from the other Ninja Turtles. So today, I'll explore what I consider Michelangelo's finest story, The Path. Published in March 2005, The Path was featured in Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 2, Issue Number 9. The issue had a story and art by Jim Lawson, with a frontispiece by A.C. Farley. While Michelangelo is the main protagonist, the story centers around Clunk, his cat. Clunk first appeared in the 1985 Michelangelo micro-series and was featured in the 2003 show. Clunk became Michelangelo's pet during A Christmas Story, where Mikey prevented a robbery and later convinced his brothers to deliver the goods to some orphan children. That story significantly developed Michelangelo's character, defining him as more innocent, playful, happy, and compassionate. And since the Turtles were in an endless revenge cycle that began with Oroku Nagi's attack on Tang Shen, someone with a warm heart like Michelangelo stood out immediately. Let's explore the story in The Path. One day in the sewers, Splinter experienced a premonition of impending death, foreseeing a time for Michelangelo to prove himself as a true warrior by facing tough decisions. Splinter warned Michelangelo that his compassion could be his weakness, that the way of the warrior had found acceptance and a home in his brothers, but that hadn't been easy for Michelangelo. This weakness would put him in danger soon. Despite recognizing the priceless pureness of his heart, Splinter could only see Michelangelo surviving by putting all emotions aside, as their enemies wouldn't share his sense of morality. Michelangelo then asked his sensei if that was what he did, to which Splinter answered that one must be prepared to walk the path one has chosen. A week later, while they were watching TV in April's apartment, Clunk escaped through a hole in the window. Raphael warned Mikey that he should go after him since he heard him fighting another cat in the alley before, but Mikey decided to let Clunk go out for a while. Unfortunately, things took a wrong turn. A cat lady saw Clunk and assumed he was a stray. When she tried to grab him, Clunk got scared and ran away, becoming the victim of a car accident. After seeing the incident and hearing about a cat, Michelangelo intercepted the cat lady, who was holding Clunk in her arms. With Clunk severely injured, Mikey's only choice was to find a vet who could save his life. But Lily, the cat lady, told Mikey about Tomas, a voodoo practitioner who lived by the river who would be able to save Clunk's life. After seeing Clunk, Tomas recognized the mark of death on him, and said that the only way to save him was to exchange it for a comparable life, a sacrifice. Mikey asked Lily for one of her cats, to which she refused. So he went out to find a stray cat to save Clunk. After battling his feelings and thinking about Master Splinter's advice, he put his emotions aside and offered the alley cat Raphael had heard Clunk fight with. But after saying that nobody loved that cat, he realized what a horrible thing he was doing. He stopped Tomas and asked him to let the cat go. With Clunk dying in his arms, there was nothing to do but say goodbye. After Clunk's last breath, Mikey left with the alley cat. Tomas then said to Lily that it wasn't a comparable life. Hurt, Michelangelo went to Splinter to tell him that he failed. He was unable to make the choice he needed to save the life of his friend. Splinter then told him that he was like the lily of the riverbank. Michelangelo first didn't understand, as he just met a lily and went to the river. But Splinter then explained to him that the lily of the riverbank is a beautiful flower that gets sunshine and rich soil because of its location. And because of this, it never wants for water. But if the river rises, the lily will be washed away. Is a lily better off in the woods with no water or sunshine guaranteed, or on the riverbank? After Michelangelo's indecision, Splinter recognized that perhaps Mikey, who walked an additional path to the way of the warrior, had something to teach him. The moral of Splinter's story is that embracing one's true nature and virtues, even if it comes with risks and challenges, is crucial for genuine fulfillment. It's about finding balance and peace in one's inherent identity, much like the lily must coexist with the ever-present danger of the river. The other turtles then interrupted them to urgently show something to Mikey. They went down the alley and found the alley cat with kittens. Donatello ran a DNA test and determined that the kittens were Clunk's. The story ended with Mikey adopting one of Clunk's kittens. This story holds a special place in my heart. It shines a light on a facet of Michelangelo that's often overshadowed in various adaptations of the Turtles. Commonly cast as the comedic relief, Michelangelo's deeper, more compassionate side is frequently overlooked. writers often neglect to portray him as the compassionate one who can question their mission and take the most peaceful path. In contrast to Leonardo, who's typically seen adhering to rules and Splinter's directives, Michelangelo introduces a unique dynamic to the group. Although present in the adaptations, his compassion is rarely given the same spotlight as his humorous personality. Yet, this very compassion sets him apart and adds depth to his character. Let's delve into some moments from The Last Ronin and its prequel miniseries. The choice to make Michelangelo the protagonist of this story was essential, since the last lesson he imparted to Casey Marie was about knowing peace. But for a while, this wasn't his point of view. This was expanded in the Lost Years miniseries, where Mikey, driven by revenge, realized that there would be no peace for him until he could finish what he'd started. It was implied that Mikey later realized this wasn't the lesson he wanted others to learn from him. This wasn't who he really was. In other words, the path he took only led to the death of his family. This is why Casey Marie and the next generation needed to learn how to live more peacefully. The path leaves us pondering a profound question about Michelangelo's role in this world. Why did Tomas say that the alley cat wasn't a comparable life to Clunk? To Michelangelo, Clunk was not just a pet, but a companion, bonded through years of shared experiences and emotional connection. This bond imbued Clunk with an intrinsic value that, in Michelangelo's eyes, the alley cat couldn't match. Not only that, sacrificing an innocent life to save Clunk would go against who Michelangelo really is. To Mikey, this wasn't just sacrificing an unsuspecting cat. He would have been sacrificing his own principles, making it almost impossible to find a comparable life to offer. This is why Michelangelo captivates us. He's a character who's capable of humor and lightheartedness, who also possesses a deep compassion and empathy that resonates deeply with our own experiences. And considering he's ensnared in an unchosen war, recognizing that there's another path offers a way out from the never-ending cycle of revenge. As a side note, 2005 was tough for Clunk, as he also perished in a vision within the cartoon. But don't worry, he survived way past the end of the show. Please share your favorite Michelangelo story or thoughts on the character in the comments. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you in the sewers.